a closer look at ARK II weaponry. Is the God exploit finally fixed? And another look at the structures we almost got. You're right kids, it's Ross Clark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So the big news today, and a shout out to Nakatis who brought this to my attention, who of course we'll be touching on later on in this video, reveals that the ARK II assets that were used for the cinematic trailer last year have now come to light. Courtesy of Victor Tomioka, who apparently worked on these assets for the trailer, and actually posted this 7 months ago but has gone unnoticed up until now, offers us a close-up insight on the assets that were used in the trailer, which could possibly be in the final game. Not confirmed, these could simply just have been made for the trailer, but it's certainly worth looking at and considering this is a real transformation from the ARK we know to the ARK II sequel that's coming hopefully next year. So the first one we get to see is of course Santiago's spear, which you can have in the game. If you don't know by now, you should be able to have that as a skin for your spears, but here we get the in-depth high-res quality look at the actual spear, looking very primitive and certainly getting me excited towards this new game. Now, something that Carter's brought up that I really liked was these dual wielding blades, which yes, again we saw in the trailer, but we overlooked dual wielding, something we've only seen in tech form up until now, that we might possibly be able to possess primitive style dual wielding blades of death, which certainly look like they're made from dinosaur bones, a step up of course from the weapons in ARK 1. And here we get a look at the new bow and arrow, looking like the arrowhead's made of obsidian, which is certainly a possibility. It makes sense, why not? Obsidian's already in ARK 1, why don't we use it for arrows in ARK 2? And then the axe made from wood and what I'm guessing is stone, maybe bone, which again looks very authentic and such a step up from the original game. And then these very cool looking, again, obsidian blades, dual wielded once again. Is this going to be a permanent thing? You can dual wield what you like. I hope it is. That would be fantastic to be able to dual wield a variety of weapons. Could you even dual wield different types of weapons? Wouldn't that be awesome? And then there's a variety of the armor we saw in the trailer, again looking very different to the armor we've seen in ARK 1. And it's all shouting primitive, and I really hope this is what we're going to see in the game. Of course, again, it could simply be just concept work for the trailer, but you need to see these. I'll leave a link in the description for you to check it for yourself, and certainly a huge credit to Victor Tomioka who put these together. So a screenshot popped up recently, and again, I must stress, this is not confirmed. I don't know where this screenshot came from. However, ARK II News, the Twitter channel that seems to be on the up and coming, posted this themselves, and it's worth considering. Simply put, somebody asked the question, are there plans for an ARK II Survival of the Fittest? If you don't know what Survival of the Fittest is, you need to know. ARK 1 had a thing called Survival of the Fittest. It was one of the first early Battle Royale games out there, which came out around 2016, and it was well received and sadly just lost appeal. Less players played it, the devs stopped supporting it, and it just disappeared into thin air. And it's a big shame because I think Survival of the Fittest had a lot of potential to be one of the big Battle Royale games today. I've even got it in my 5 biggest regrets video, go check that out, it's worth a watch. And I've got to say, there is no source to prove this was definitely Dali, the product manager of ARK. If it is, the reply was, I'd love to, we'll see, not at launch, but it's possible. Very vague, I know, but what's worth thinking about is Survival of the Fittest on the cards for when ARK II drops. They know they had a gold mine there and it just didn't work out. So are they going to consider how can they do this, put this right for the sequel? They really should, and I'm fully in support. I know some aren't, but are you? Pop a comment below, let me know. So some factual news that we can digest and consider. Now, a lot of you have been in touch with me recently regarding an exploit on PlayStation, especially that's been somewhat of a God mode thing that a lot of you have been very upset over. Apparently a lot of you have been quitting over this, and of course have been feeding this to the devs. I've been in touch with them myself and let them know your frustrations, but of course we're just voices, we don't know what's going on. Now said, the lead community manager, did put out a tweet yesterday saying as much: one day we will get ahead of all these people who want to exploit and cheat, but until then, the work continues. Just following this tweet, there was a patch for both PlayStation and Xbox, so I'm hoping that was the one, because the patch relates to an exploit. It says an exploit has been patched. We don't know what exploit. The devs aren't going to share that with us. They're not going to bring light to a thing you can do in the game that's cheating. But for those that know what it is it fixed? Comment below, please let me know. So Código Alex, we talked about him in the last video, whereby we went through this new structure that was coming out for Genesis Part 2 that never did. And we're all kind of frustrated that we'd have loved to have seen it, but we also appreciate why it didn't drop. Now, Código Alex has took it upon himself to figure out how it could be done and put out a video showcasing how he believes this could have been done. And the fact that Código Alex is spending time on making this a thing means we might possibly see this in at least mod form in the near future. If you don't know, Código Alex is working on a mod, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But let's just appreciate this for what it is. As I mentioned in the video last weekend, the way this new structure tier was going to work was that you would hack and slash away at it, but eventually, as long as there was one foundation or structure left of that type, its connecting structures would all grow back, meaning you had to fully foundation wipe someone in order for them not to get their base back. And I love this idea. I think it's very, very cool. And Código Alex, I'm fully backing you, mate. I hope you can bring this to light and show everybody how this is done. Now, what mod map is he working on? A very, very ambitious map called Titan. I spoke about this a few weeks ago, whereby Código Alex is using the Gen 2 assets to make a fully fledged, modded, almost DLC of that latest map, whereby you're going to be able to venture to different planets. That's right, on an Astro Delphis, you're going to be able to fly to 4 different planets in this new mod map. And we saw this trailer a while ago, but Código Alex recently added a little bit more just to tease us on how this is going to work. And you can see it for yourself. This is something truly special, the unprecedented stuff that we've never seen in ARK before. A la No Man's Sky transitioning into a planet, and I need to see this in action. If it's as seamless as I'm thinking it's going to be, or hoping it's going to be, don't know how it's going to be. That's a lot of stuff to load in ARK, but wow, Código Alex, you are certainly making one of the most ambitious projects out there, and I can't wait to get my hands on this, and I'm sure a lot of you can't either. But speaking of mods, Nakatas, who of course told us about the ARK II assets and is the developer of mod map Fjordur, which we all love, it became #1 in the top 10 polls we did recently, has now revealed a new logo for the map. And I've got to say, I certainly do prefer this over the previous one. I think it's just a bit more up to date. It's certainly got a bit more punch to it. And I've got to say, I do feel like a strong Viking looking at this logo. As a Marvel fan, and of course this bearing some resemblance to Thor, it's a tick from me. It's a yes, I like it. Let's get it done. And it's coming soon. I will be playing this map very, very soon. I can't wait to get stuck in and share it with you, those who can't play it, I'm afraid. Console, of course, or maybe you will in the future, we don't know, but we're going on a Viking adventure. I'm growing my beard out for it. It's going off. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with an interview with the man, the myth, the legend, Gareth Coker, who composes all of the scores for ARK, as well, of course, as the upcoming animated TV series, ARK 2, Halo, the lot. Legend, talent, knows his stuff. Go check this out. I'll leave a link in the description where he goes into more detail about what he does, what he's going for with ARK, the animated TV series, and it's getting me a bit hyped. I don't want to get too hyped. I feel like we're way off before we're going to hear anything, or maybe not. As I mentioned at the end of October during the Extra Life charity stream, I think we are going to be given a dump load of ARK 2 stuff, and maybe ARK animated TV series, seeing that the first episode is all filmed and wrapped up and ready to go. Where is it going to be streamed? We don't know yet. A lot of you asking me, when is Lost Island coming out? I don't know. Nobody said a thing yet. We don't know. We haven't got a date, but it's going to be this year. So I'm guessing November time, hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, now we know the 3 dinos that are coming with it, which I did in the last video, and I'll leave a link to that in the description too. Thanks all for tuning in. My name's Ras Clark. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace out.